do today is you are going to be creating something, and that's just going to be more like a refresher of what you've learned before in HTML. So you are going to be, doing a refresher of what you've learned in HTML and CSS, and we'll see how we can actually, merge that together with what we are about to start learning in JavaScript. So what I want you to do for me is you are going to be creating a simple login form. So already I got some samples for you. So I just want you guys to pick one of the three, and I got this from CodePen. So, but they are just screenshots basically. So I'll be leaving them, on the general group. So I would want you guys to by yourself, agree on which one you want to design. So you design it. Then when you're done designing it, we now go on to apply, some validation, to the login form, which is going to be what we'll be doing in JavaScript. So that same thing we did when we entered values using prompt, we are going to be using, actual form elements in HTML, actual text input elements to receive user input, and then we are going to submit it. And on submit, we want to check and do those same validations we did while we were working solely inside of the JavaScript console using the prompt keyword. Does that make sense? So I've sent you three samples of a login form. So I want you to pick which one you prefer. Then we can go on from there. But you'll be designing it by yourself. So this is the first one. No, this is the first one. This is the second one, and this is the third one. Hello. So just check the group individually and let me know which one you want to go with, and then I'll leave the floor over to you guys. When you're done designing it, then I'll come back, then we apply JavaScript to it.
So are we using only JavaScript to design it, or
No,
we'll
no,
use
no.
HTML and CSS?
Yes, I said you use HTML and CSS to design it. Yeah.
Okay.
So just create a regular HTML CSS file, or maybe you could, HTML CSS file, and create them. Do it together. So who is going to be sharing their screen today? Who said Laura?
Nobody said nobody said Lawrence.
Okay. So who's going to be sharing their screen? Okay. Nobody wants to volunteer. Okay, yesterday you should share a screen then.
So I'm currently in the kitchen. I just carried my laptop to the kitchen.
Okay.
So I will not be able to like concentrate very well. I can show you a video. See me.
No, it's fine, it's fine. So
Yes.
yeah, top it then you.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll just leave mine out of the then you share yours and I project yours.
Have we picked
Yes.
like have we
When
the one
Topper
that
shares her screen, you can pick which one you want to do when she shares her screen.
I started sharing my screen. Oh.
Yeah, we can see it.
So which one are we designing?
You can share your WhatsApp as well so everyone can agree.
So there's this one, and this. For me, we could go with this one. I don't know. Or this one.
You guys should agree quickly. So
I think the blue one is okay. That's this one you are on now. Yes. Fine.
So which one?
My second choice will probably be this one that has the box shadow because it's also fine. But I don't know how we'll do this.
Let's go with that one that has that box shadow. It has a transparent
That one's
background. It's fine. The third one. Yes, this one.
So we're going with this one.
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay, slow. That was a camera picture, right?
Yes,
We didn't meet here.
like a video. Is it shorter? They call it now. I don't know.
Mm. I shall see it here.
it doesn't have to be the exact one, just pick any other one.
See, it's go up, like scroll up. I think we just passed. We passed. See, this one that has media written on it. That one.
This one or this one?
This one that has black and white. Now, the two have black and white. Safe. The second one.
Let's stop the students. I think our network is bad.
Yeah, she has left the meeting.
I think someone else should just go instead. That's it. Our network is bad, so
Okay, so let me try since Triumph is not exists.
okay.
Okay. So let me just let me just open a file and I can share.
You want to share your own screen?
Let me share.
Okay. You just finished. Okay. This light is a disaster. She even take the light, say it's better than this nonsense.
Okay. So let me just look at the picture. Does anybody know what she searched for? I can't remember.
Okay. Isn't it a video shutter?
That's what I searched for.
Maybe you should search for video coverage.
Okay. I'm coming. Let me just scroll down a bit and see what options we have.
Or maybe we should just use one.
Okay. So can we use any one? Can we use any other one?
You can use anyone. Maybe we should
Okay.
just use any other one.
Okay. Let me look for something a bit similar.
Actually, someone that has almost that background, this yellow background. Oh,
Up.
not the same thing, no, but I think it's similar.
No, we can just. I think we can
Just
pick.
change the color of ourselves. Yeah, we can change the background color. So let's just pick anyone.
Okay. Let's use this one.
Okay.
I think the color here is a bit faint. So let's.
It's not really yellow, like cream. Okay, okay, yeah, this is it. We can change the background too, can't we? Okay,
Does
doing
this the background? I think it comes with a transparent background, Abby.
okay, okay.
Okay. So let me. Where did I even save this index now? Index. And where it is. Hmm.
Have you saved this?
I'm looking for where I saved it though. Okay, I've seen it.
Okay. All right, let's search for person.
What?
Person or human being or head, human head or something or whatever name we can give it.
I really in my head.
Listen, I see person here.
Okay.
If you want to search for human head, okay.
That thing sounds funny in my ear, like in my head.
What is this? Okay, see one here. See.
Which area?
That
This
is on
one.
Shutterstock. Let's compare with Shutterstock. How are they giving us chessboard now? Okay, this is a lady.
Where is it?
It's someone, but it's a lady.
Okay.
Okay, starting to just send one. Okay, he has gotten one for us, so let's finish with this one so that we can save it.
Okay.
Let's finish with this one. Save it.
Or should I try half human?
See, let's use this businesswoman. It's someone businesswoman. Can be anybody.
This one.
This one, businesswoman. By the left.
Oh, this one.
Yes. I won't waste much time. Can change the color too.
Search for user.
User. Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, oh, did you not save?
You said what?
Okay, I was wondering whether I did not save.
Okay, it's saved. You know we can actually resize it too.
Yes.
I sent you the other icon.
Yes.
Okay.
As you don't forget enough.
Okay.
Me. Your boyfriends. You don't abandon me, go meet other ones that way you can pass me.
Hello?
Okay, we
Sorry,
join.
the network just cut me out. I thought I was still on the class.
Oh,
And I
Have you
was
started?
and nobody. I've started though. I was like, nobody's answering me. Oh. Let me come to the class. So that class.
Yeah, come and share your screen, I beg, since you have started.
Hey, sorry,
Let
how
me
long was
stop.
I? Sorry.
No problem. Let me stop so you can share.
Okay, so I was here. Let me, because I started running the code. So I was saying how like I was trying to get the inner box to show. I was trying to get the inner box to show. Like I was asking, how do we like position it at the middle? Have I gone off again?
No, you're online. You're online. I can hear you.
Because nobody's saying anything.
Well, no.
I don't understand. Okay. You
Wait,
said
everyone, turn on your video, please. Turn
you
on
said
your video.
background of red so that we can see the inner box,
Yes.
right?
I set it to a background of red so that we can see like the inner this thing.
Why can't we? Maybe we should.
Don't worry. I'll make sure I get
The bot.
I can't hear you. I don't know if it's my network or
Everyone should turn on their video.
Okay, I can see now. Okay, what do you say is the issue?
I was asking how do we get the box, the inner box into the middle?
Which inner box? Not this red.
This is what we chose now.
Yes.
Mhm.
Is it not normal margin and padding? Then we didn't style the body. Have you styled the body?
It's just color that is on the body now. Like the main body is just color.
Mm, but we're supposed to give it like maybe a display of flex, specify content,
What
align
is it? Is it the body, like the outer body or the inner body? Because like
like
there's
the
outer
main
body and
body,
inner
this
body.
body that carries the section.
Yeah, I've not gotten to that point.
Okay.
I've not gotten to that point. I just wanted to like put it in the middle, then walk up from there. Or we should just
Let's start the body tag first. So that if we can sort out the view height and all those other things, then that's what I think too. Like let's sort out the
so
body tag, then we can now sort out the class
we have
inside.
inner outer body and the inner body inside the outer body. Then I put a div for the image. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I put a div for the image. Then the form. By using input feeds, right?
Can you hear her?
I can hear. Okay, I can't hear her anymore. I was hearing her before. So. But why are you still talking?
Because like a cursor is moving and we can't see you.
Can you? I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
My network is. I don't know what's up with my network. What's that? Is it placeholder?
Yes, placeholder, yes.
Placeholder. I did it correctly. Sure. Then the submit button.
Just submit there or login.
Login that is there, not submit.
It's not a bot, it's a button now.
There's a button.
Form.
Sorry.
I think it should be after the form, the closing form tab.
After.
Yes. Not inside form.
It's supposed to be together now. The one will not style. We'll be able to style everything together.
What about the image? The
Yeah,
image.
that's another thing.
Inside the inputs.
You can actually put button. I have to go and browse it because I know I've seen something like that, like input type submit. It will be login. I'm just like I browsed something.
Going to.
The same thing.
So if you now want to style it, you are not going to be targeting the third child. Because it should be easier for
We'll style it. Two of them are the same. Like all the styles in this like when we're styling inputs now, we're styling everything the same way because if you look at the image, it's the same styling except
But
the
color
pictures,
of login.
except the color.
Color.
We'll not target the color.
Okay.
It's just something I checked out on the internet. Sure.
Okay.
You could still go with the button.
Okay. What about the image in front of the inside the input?
Where am I going to put it now? Input image.
Well, let's go where we can enter an image inside the form. The network will. The network not okay. Network is not fine. Nothing is loading here. Where is my phone network? Let's do that.
Okay, try using. I just saw this one now, Sha. So inside this that's after the opening tag for form before the inputs type. Yes, try using the I tag. Then wait first. So what they did was they used an I tag, and then they called the class, and they put the image in the class that they called. You get?
How does that work?
Like let me just copy it and paste it on the chat box so you can see how it looks. So this class that they called as FA user icon, they now put an image inside it.
I don't. Let me see. Can you send to the chat box?
Yeah, I sent it.
Like this thing is Bootstrap.
No, this one what they did was they styled it. It's not Bootstrap. They styled it they put it in
This
their
FA user icon.
except maybe they're using Bootstrap in their own code. But from what I'm seeing here,
Yes, this icons is Bootstrap.
let me check for another one.
You said who's using Bootstrap?
We're not using Bootstrap.
No, my network.
Please mentioning Bootstrap. There's no Bootstrap here. It's plain CSS.
Let's try putting
So Laura, like this I class FA user icon.
That's
yes,
awesome.
Bootstrap.
But I already gave you I
It's
thought you
not
already
Bootstrap.
found the icons. No. Bootstrap does not do icons now. They have glyphicons. But what font awesome is this one is font
My
awesome.
network is breaking up.
This one is if you want to use font awesome, but you don't need to use font awesome. You already got the icons from icons 8 now, so use them. Laura, didn't you get the icons? Didn't you get the icons from icons 8?
Yes, sir.
And send it to Tope from the group now so she can download it and import it to the project. There's no need to be using font awesome.
I think she already has that. I don't know. Abitopo, don't you have the? Do you have it?
I'm not even hearing. I have what? My network is cracking up.
The image. You already have the image.
Yes, I already have the image.
Okay. Tab is closed right above the opening element tag, as in the case of inputs. Tope.
Yeah.
That's I tag, eh? That I tag. Put the image inside that I tag before the inputs. That's you get
My network
No,
went
you
off.
can't do that.
Oh.
Okay, what is the challenge? What are you guys trying to solve?
We're trying to put
place
those small images inside the inputs.
And there are different ways to do it now. There's no way you can even put an image inside of an icon. It doesn't work. Sorry, put an image inside of an icon tag. Or you can also put an image inside of an input. What you need to do is group the inputs and the image together inside of a div. Then you style that div and remove the border of the input so that you look as if it is one input field. Or you could use the before after studio classes to but don't even do that. Just do the group both of them together in a div.
I said I should group what and what together in a div.
The image and the input inside of a div.
So that means the image
That's separate.
form.
put inside of the form, you need to have a div, and that div will have the image and the input that goes with the image.
Okay.
So you can say input group or something like that.
Oh, I have the image.
Yeah. So now put the input inside of that same. Yeah. Then what you need to do now is you will need to do it for the other input as well.
Mm. This is how it looks. Style.
Style it now.
Yeah. Okay, that's it now. I think this is everything. Everything is inside. Yeah. Anyway, let me continue. Let's style the inner body image.
Border radius. Okay. You need to give the image pattern.
Another thing is display flex. What's that? This thing to put it in the
Align items.
center. What do you call it?
Align items or just
Okay, yes, align item.
let's
You,
do the image pattern.
hmm, too much.
Too much of
5. This one is okay now. Yeah.
I want to see the picture. No, we need to reduce the size of the image. Let's say 5. Let's use 5 pixels. Let's say
It's too small.
no.
Hope you know you are targeting the wrong image.
It's the correct image.
Which one? The
The blackboard.
Yes, sir.
okay, the clapboard. Okay.
Sir?
Okay. I thought you were trying to target the avatar.
No, not yet. We have not started targeting them. Background color. So. Something like this, Abby.
It's like yellow.
It's not proper yellow. Let me just. I don't know. Let me try this one. Is this okay?
No.
Eh?
Come to yellow. Towards yellow. No.
It's not too yellow.
Let's just use a different color. It's not like it's a must.
Yeah, let's go to the next item first.
How about the padding?
Eh?
I feel like we should increase the padding.
Is it okay?
Maybe we should increase the size of the image to like 30 pixels.
The image is already 50 pixels. Okay, enough for. Jesus Christ.
I think we should reduce the image and increase the padding, because the image looks smaller and there's a lot of space around it.
I was saying, you mean the clapboard, Abby?
Yes.
That's okay. Let's reduce it to like 30 pixels.
And then we can increase the padding around it.
15 or 20. Okay.
And we can also reduce the border radius.
Yeah, this thing. We can reduce the border too. I think the border is quite thicker.
Yes. The border rather, not border radius, sorry.
Is it okay now?
I think it's better.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. Oh, so next we're targeting the inner group, right?
Yeah.
Inner group of input group.
Please, can you go back to your HTML?
Input group.
Okay.
Okay. Again, display of flex, right? No. This image is too large. Let me target input group image first. Because I don't understand.
Which image? Is it the locked image or the user?
Eh? Is that what?
Is it the user image you're talking about?
No,
or the
the
locked
image. Not looking like something that I have hate.
Hold on, guys. Since we stopped them doing HTML, have you guys been practicing HTML and CSS since then?
I only go back to my HTML like once.
Yeah, you need
Like,
to. It's very easy to forget the things. The only way you won't forget
Very
is when you've done it over and over again.
okay.
I don't know. Let me give it bad
What's
details.
which
Is it
sorry,
total this thing
like
here? Okay.
Eh?
I think the party is too much.
I was asking now which class are we studying?
Input group.
Okay.
That's this one.
Okay. Yeah.
Target. Input group input.
Let's target the image first so that we can change the color of the image.
So what?
We will not be able to change the color of the
I'm
image.
not change the color of the image.
Okay, it not changed. Okay, it was the one that Laura was downloading that we changed.
Now on the right foot.
I'm not sure we want it to have border because we want to
What's
try.
that? No, I want to remove. I was even going to suggest something safe just now that maybe we should try. Oh, it may not work. It may not work. Now that I'm thinking of it, it may not work. Because I wanted to suggest that we should style the div itself,
Exactly.
like div a
Background color, abi?
yes, with a border and everything. So the image and this input are going to be inside that.
That particular div.
Yes, that's what.
And that's the div of the input group now.
Let's try it then.
Yes, let's give it a background color and then a border.
Background color of
It will be white now.
Wait.
how it
Yeah.
looks.
Yes. Let's give it a border then. Let's say maybe 1 pixels.
Mm-hmm.
On PX solid.
Sorry.
I'm sure the background color is white. Let's change the background color to like maybe like ash or something. Very clear,
Something
very
else just
white.
because if that's exactly what I wanted to say. This background color that we are giving it, two of them are not in separate. The two input are inside one div. So if
Yeah.
we give the background color, it needs to cover the entire space, like the entire span of that div.
Except we
So
want
that
to like
space we are
do
trying to
it
give is
infield
not
group 1, infield group
Which
2.
group two?
that's the way we'll be able to get like different inputs.
Okay. But this one we
So then we can
invert.
now give the background color for input group 1 as white.
Ish.
Anyway,
That's why.
maybe we should just cancel it and try it all over again from the input group 1. But you can comment it out to see if you are going to need it.
Check the name. Are you sure it's correct? Because check the HTML. Input
Group
Why is
1.
it on our estimate?
You did not put 1 now, Tope.
I know, I just removed it.
Okay.
When you put input group 1, this is how it's in. Ouch.
Okay, see what we will do. Input group 1. Should be this particular input has its own this one here.
Hold on.
Let's try styling it. Input group 1 image. Let's reduce the image. Try reducing this
What about
30
okay,
to
input
like
group 1
10
image?
px or something. Let's see.
What about if we give the same color? If we give this input group 1 input, this last one, that will give it the same color as the background color.
How?
This background color inside input group 1. What about if we give it this? No.
So, but that's input group 1 you put in. You're actually right. What I was saying was, like, in that input group 1, now we are going to be styling the div according to, like, we're styling each input according to its own div. So we have to reduce, if we are going to say, okay, this user image is bigger than that input box, we have to reduce the box.
This is what I just did now.
That's we have to reduce the width. That this input group 1 image, let's reduce from 30 px.
Okay.
Then input group 2. Why is this still having the background color? Why is this still applying? Okay, you put it the same background color on the 2.
That's what I'm saying now. What about if we change enter username? What if we give it the same background color as the normal background color?
And that's white. It will be white then.
It will not be white.
Transparent.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
I don't think I understand.
As in this background color, input group 1 background color, give it white.
Input group 1.
Background color, give it white.
Okay.
Okay, then when you give imagine bottom, it's now going to give space between enter username and enter password. Let's say 10 px. So we can now style it. 1 px solid.
Then
Border radius. Yes, radius, you're right.
Other radius.
Let's say 10 px or 30.
20.
Okay, 25.
Then we can give the image some spacing too, Abby.
Yes, so imagine right.
Margin or padding?
Margin, because we want to move
It's already
the
small, so I don't think there's need for us to give it margin. Padding, sorry.
Look at it. Oh.
we have to increase the border radius for the input group 1.
Increase it.
Yes, let's say 30.
Yeah.
It's too round though, it's too much.
Just no, it's okay.
It's too much. Oh.
Too much.
It's the padding that is too much. The border radius is okay. We reduce the padding inside the div.
Inside the input group 1 then.
Yes, if you reduce the padding, it will reduce the how do I put it?
It's still too round.
It's not round. It's, the roundness is not the problem. It's the size they're looking at. It's okay now.
Yeah. So you can just apply the same styling to the enter password. That's the second, the input group 2.
Okay. This one, did you even do it? Okay. It's okay now. Sure. It's okay, right? Then the login.
Is it because of the size of the image? Because this enter password looks a bit. Is it the padding? Is it the same pattern?
So the padlock is bigger.
Okay. The size of the padlock.
Yes.
It was again.
Yes, okay.
Does it have something to do with?
Maybe we should try button.
Yeah, no.
But you know you styled just login. You didn't style that was it inside the div?
No,
It's
not
supposed
really.
as inner form input. You didn't style, you chose login. Did you give it a class before?
She gave
I
it
gave it to class, but
login.
it didn't work.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I mean,
20.
what's that? This
Yes, you
zero.
Top, bottom. Abi? Top,
No.
right, bottom, left.
Top, right, bottom, left.
Yes.
Okay. So this is supposed to be 0, or rather 5.
Hmm? I think we mixed it up. That's nice, clockwise.
I'm going to change the
All right then, so now we've
height and
dockerized
the
a node
width of
application
the button.
using
And that
Express,
work.
which is just a simple API
No,
that we can
padding is
hit,
supposed to do it,
and we've
but
created
it's getting
an
that
image and a
syntax.
container
I
for
don't
that
know what.
using Docker Compose.
And
Next,
then
I want to show you how
let's
to
write
dockerize
like
a
Right.
front-end application
So-
as well, namely a React one. And I want to use Docker Compose for that as well. Now, you don't need to understand React to follow this lesson, but I'm not going to pretend that knowing just a little bit about it won't help. So if you do want to learn that first of all, feel free to check out my React tutorials. I'll leave the link to those down below the video. But again, you don't really need to understand React. Anyway, I've already got this React app here in the Docker Crash Course folder called My Blog. And by the way, you can download this React project from the course files on GitHub. And a link to that GitHub page is also below the video. But we have this React app and it's really simple. It's just basically one page, the root component itself, which lists a load of blog titles, nothing more. And the blog titles are at the minute being fetched from a dummy REST API called JSON placeholder. And we can do this from containerized apps. We can reach out to the web, to third-party APIs, and make requests to them. Anyway, that call brings us back a list of blog objects, which we then store inside this bit of state at the top. Then we can map through those blogs in the template and output the title property for each one. So a really simple React application. And now we want to Dockerize that. So make an image for it and also get it running inside a container. And to do this, we need to do basically three things. First, we need to make a Docker file to say how the image should be built. Second, we need to make a Docker ignore file to tell Docker to ignore our node modules folder when building the image. And third, we need to edit our Docker Compose file to add on this React project or service. So let's start by quickly adding the Docker ignore file in the root of the React application, all right? So remember, it's called .docker ignore. And then inside that file, we can just type node_modules, and that's going to tell Docker to ignore that folder when we're making the image, all right? So next up, we want to make the Docker file as well for the app. So first of all, let's make that file called Docker file with a capital D inside the root folder of the React application. And now we can start to add the different layers inside this file. So the first one is going to be a parent image, which will be a node image, because although React isn't a node application as such, it needs to use Node to build the application, all right? So let's say at the top, from, in capitals, node, and then a colon to use the version, and it's going to be 17-Alpine. And that means we're going to get version 17 of Node built on top of the Alpine distribution. Next, we want to specify the work directory to be inside a subfolder on the image called app. So we can just say for workdir/app. Then we want to copy over the package.json file to the image before anything else so that we can run npm install in the next layer. And by just saying dot here, we're saying basically copy it to the root of the working directory, which is in the app folder, right? So next we can use the run instruction to run a command, which is going to be npm install. And this is going to install all the project dependencies listed in that package.json file. Then we need to copy the rest of the source files over. So let's do another copy instruction and then a dot to say this current directory where the Docker file is. So grab all of this and then place it in the same directory /app that we're working in. All right. So that's the next one. Then we're going to basically document that we're exposing a port number. Now, React apps run on port 3000 by default. So that's the port the container is going to expose. And finally, we need to give this a CMD instruction to run a command to start the app inside the container. And that command is npm start. This is going to run the start script in the package.json file, right? Which then runs the React application. So remember, the value of this goes inside an array where each item in the array is a word of the command, right? So we have two items. We have npm and then start. Sure, let's do that. And then that's pretty much it for the Docker file. So next up, we need to configure the Docker Compose file to make an image for this React app and also to run a container for it too. So then, inside the Docker Compose file, we've already configured the API service, but now we need to add this extra React site or React service to this as well. So we do that by adding it as an extra service inside the services property. So it needs to be indented one level to match up vertically with the API service. Now, I'm going to call this service my blog, which is the same name as the React app, but you can call it something else if you want. Some people might call this front end or React app or something else. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Inside that service, we need to specify the same things as the API up there. So we need the build property, which is going to be a path to the folder where our Docker file is kept for this service. We need the container name property to name this container as well. We need to list the ports that we want to map, and then also any extra configuration that we might need as well. So let's start with the build property, which is just going to be ./my blog, because that's the path to the folder where the Docker file is kept for this service. All right, so next let's add the container underscore name property to give this container a name. And then I want to call this my blog underscore C, which stands for container. All right, so then we need the ports property. And inside this, we can map port to port. So it's going to be 3000 to 3000, all right? And then if we want to visit this React app in the browser, all we have to do then is visit localhost port 3000. All right then, so after that, if we wanted to see the real-time updates as we develop and save our files, we would then specify volumes, much like we did with the API one, right? So I could just copy and paste the same instructions from above and then just change the API folder to be our my blog folder instead. Now, this is fine, right? But if you're working on Windows, this probably won't work because the way Docker works on Windows using WSL is a bit different. In some Windows versions, you can circumnavigate that by using a flag called chokidar use polling, but in a lot of cases, that doesn't work as well either. So you can work around it by developing within the Linux subsystem on Windows itself, but I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole right now. So in my case, I'm just going to remove the volumes, but feel free to keep these if you want, if you're on a Mac or running Linux. Anyway, there's two more properties that we need to add onto this for React to work properly in the container. Now, the first one of those is the standard in open property, and we set that to be true. Right? So that's the first one we need. And the second one is going to be the TTY property, which we also set to be true as well. The second one is going to be the standard in open property. And we set that to be true, right? So that's the first one we need. And the second one is going to be the TTY property, which we also set to be true as well. Now, adding both of these properties basically starts the container in interactive mode, which is what we should do with React apps in Docker. So that's the opposite of detached mode, and it means that our React container won't automatically shut down. And now that's pretty much it as far as this Docker Compose file is concerned. So next, I want to make it so that I can grab the data that we list in the React app, not from JSON placeholder, but instead from our API that we created, our other service. And remember, we can reach that API from a browser using localhost port 4000, right? So all I really need to do is change this request, this endpoint, to localhost port 4000/. And then that should reach out to our API container and get the data from that endpoint. And also we need to put http:// here as well. And actually, I'm just going to delete this import at the top because we don't have an app.css. All right then, so hopefully now that should be fine. Now let's try running this in the terminal. So just come down here and type docker-compose, then up, and then hit enter. And again, it might take a little bit of time to do this, especially the first time around, but once it's done, we should be able to send requests not only to the API service in the browser using port 4000 on localhost, but also reach the React app on localhost as well using port 3000. And both of these projects are running independently of each other in separate containers. And that's typically how we work with Docker. Every service, whether it be a backend API or some kind of front-end site or a MongoDB database or something else, they would all have their own isolated containers, right? And that way they can all be run independently of each other. So now in a browser, if we visit localhost port 4000 first of all to make sure the API is working, we can see it does because we get this JSON response. And then next we can go to localhost port 3000 to see if the React app is working, which again, it is. Awesome. We can see that app right here. And we can also see that we're grabbing the data from the API service. Awesome. So now we've used Docker Compose to create 2 images and spin up 2 containers for different services, the API service and also our React app. Next up, I want to show you how to share images on Docker Hub. Alright then gang, so we've seen now how to do a lot of things with Docker. We've seen how to make images for different services, we've seen how to run containers for both of those as well, how to work with volumes, and also how Docker Compose works as well. Finally, I want to show you how to share your images on Docker Hub so that other people can download them and run them on their own computers. So to do this, the first thing you need to do is head to the Docker Hub website, which is at hub.docker.com. And to begin with, you'll probably see a different page to me because you won't be logged in or you won't have an account. So you'll need to sign up for a free account, first of all, by clicking a sign up link that I think you'll see somewhere in the top right over there. Then once you've done that, once you have an account and you're logged in, you should see a page something like this one. And down here, there's an option to create a repository, which is what we want to do. So click on that. All right, so now we just need to specify some details for this repository where we're going to basically push up our image. And what we're going to do is call this my API. Doesn't really matter what you call it. And then you can add a description if you want to. I'm going to keep this public. And then down here, we'll say create. And then we should see this repository right here called my API. So it's the NetNinja UK /my API. And that's important, right? Because we need to call our image this whole thing right here. We can't just call the image, for example, my API. It needs to be called the NetNinja UK /my API. In my case, in your case, it's going to be something different over here, depending on your username. And then to push up the image, this is what we're going to do. We're going to say docker push and then the whole name of the image and any tag of the image as well. So let's give that a whirl. All right then, so first of all, I've already deleted all of the images I had previously. So I can show you that, docker images, and press enter, and we can see there's no images. Now what I need to do is create a new image now that I can push up to that repository we created on Docker Hub. Now I'm going to create an image for this API project down here. Now this time around,
Let me see.
Already browsing out to do it.
Which one is box shadow? Come, let me wash my hands.
See you. I don't think I'm able to target it. I don't think I have been able to target it. But overall, this is it now.
I can't target. Box shadow.
This thing now.
Okay. What if we use that gradient?
Yeah.
Like linear gradient on background, this inner body. Now, so I didn't know my mic was off. After that box shadow, that's after this our box shadow generator. Let's try background and give it That's CSS Gradient. What's the
I
name
think we
again?
just want to kill ourselves if we do that.
Let's just try it now. Let's
Wait.
just try.
Sorry, Laura, what did
Let
you
me-
say? I want to watch my.
Okay, I was saying that we should try like giving it. It's a gradient now, as you said. Like the white one side is white, that side. Yes. So let's try. Let's go to that gradient. CSS Gradient. What name of that?
Background image, linear gradient, 90 degree.
We have to generate. Okay,
Let's generate it first.
let's
Now.
generate it now.
It will not be. What are you generating?
The gradients now. Gradient.
What are you generating?
We can generate gradients.
It's the same way we generate.
We are generating.
Go to the website.
You say now.
I don't know how to do it now.
Okay, so you have to the website. The same way you did
Which one
box
do you have to
shadow.
generate gradient for?
Is it here?
Which
CSS. No. Say Google. Exactly.
Which one do you want to generate gradient for?
Okay, is it this thing?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
we can hear
sir.
you.
Which one are you trying to generate gradient for?
Laura, you to deal.
For the background of the box.
Okay, so the background there, the way the shadow is there.
The box shadow is on
The
one
left hand
side.
side
That's
is
the
on.
top and the
Okay,
right.
check
And
inside,
top
check
and
the
left.
WhatsApp chat.
Okay.
I've sent you the box shadow for the main card.
Wow. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So we should use this box shadow instead.
Yes.
Okay. There's to comment out in CSS again along.
Is this thing now? Is it not that?
Slash.
Just press command
You're doing JavaScript.
Command what?
slash
Command slash.
// yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
As well.
Remove the background
It's
image
weird.
you added.
Okay.
Oh wow. So how did you do this?
I didn't write it. There's where I got the card from is where I'm giving you from.
Okay,
Can
thank
you
you,
go to
sir.
the website?
And I think okay, we just have to do minus and plus, like positive for the white side and negative.
Yes, that's true. Makes sense. Yes.
So for the logo, the image, the logo with the clapboard, this is the background box shadow.
That's a Indian body image.
Yes. Okay.
Oh wow.
That means we have to reduce this thing of the border.
I need to reduce the border. Okay. Get again. I think our colors still has we still have work to do with the color.
Our one is looking a bit darker, right?
And then each of the inputs, this thing has box shadow.
And it's looking like the box shadow is almost the same thing as that of the image.
It's not. This is the box shadow for the input.
Okay.
This thing has to be white. This for the input, right? So I'm putting it on input. Please, guys, where am I putting this thing now? I think it's here.
For the input group. No. It's supposed to be on each this thing. Input groups 1A here exactly.
Yeah, that was what I did.
Yes. That means we now have to change the background color of this thing.
So what?
Why not? But what if we change the background color to the background color of the card itself?
As in,
The background color of the enter username is showing quite different.
Make the background.
so what should use this color?
Let's use this color. Let's see.
So this is the box shadow for the button. So you need to make that input, the input have a transparent background.
Okay. Transparent.
I'm talking about not the input group or the input.
Which?
The input group is different from the input.
Okay.
It's transparent too. Except I'm not getting.
I mean the input itself, not the input group.
The input is transparent
No, that's the
already.
border.
Or we have to make the color.
No, the background color. The background
I'm
color.
sorry, color. Transparent. Okay.
Okay. It was blended.
Okay.
Okay, then I send you the shadow for the button as well. Though it still looks a little bit ugly. Oh. In terms of the spacing and so on. But you guys have done a great job though. What's that then? There's a little bit more to be done to it.
Yes. The colors. I think the color.
Is it the opacity that we are going to give it? The opacity, sir?
Huh?
Is it the opacity of the color?
Definitely the background does not have the background is not gray. I mean the body
not
background.
Okay.
I don't think
Let's change the color. No. Topa is the login that we are talking about though.
Is it this color?
No.
What of out?
No. Bring it down a bit. No.
Yes.
I think it's better now.
Then this body color somehow. Don't know. Color looks somehow.
this is the color.
Like
Ours is whiter,
I
right?
changed it to white now.
This is the color.
white. White no.
I've sent you
Yes.
the color. And then that's the color for the card as well.
Oh wow. Hey, this is the color. It's more like
That's the color for the card as well.
Okay.
It looks more like we need to reduce the size of this our image.
Which image? Okay, yes, the clipboard or clapboard.
That one, the entire username and this thing. The image is big. Okay. Check it. I'm not looking at the image, but I feel like it's big.
The enter username, the user own is better, but for the key, for the lock, sorry, the lock is quite bigger. Yeah, I think it's more like it.
Check it out.
Then go back. What about the size of our text?
We did not do anything to the size of the text. It's just placeholder we did before.
Here's a place, there's a form.
And then I feel like this we need to increase the padding a bit for the inputs. Because it looks like when I click on it, so you can see it.
Yeah.
For the input, make
Oh,
the
the part
padding,
is it not the padding right?
make the padding 16 pixels.
Mm-hmm.
So you said
Check should make the padding 16px.
okay.
16
I
PS
think
no
that
go
should be
big.
the padding of the this thing actually. The
Big
padding
go.
of the box, not the of the input group, not the input. Because the shadow is on the input group, not on.
Okay. So 10 pieces.
Thing.
And I think you need to reduce the padding of the card itself. I mean the form.
Okay.
The padding, what is the padding you're currently using? Which one are you doing? I'm talking about the overall body of the card, the login, this thing itself. Is it, what did you call that? Is it inner form or I'm talking about?
But yeah.
Yes. So make it 30.
Okay.
No. Is there something after the inner body?
For like the inner body is what targets this entire thing.
Mm,
Like the entire card here.
this doesn't look so great. Hold on, let me check something. So what you need to do is
Or is it the margin that we use? The margin, I don't.
okay, you know what you're going to do? Make the width of the inner body what's 32 times 10. Hold on. The width of the inner body should be, because I think you should have set that 2 times 16. So make it 5, maybe 510 pixels. What is the outer body? Is it the
I should make what?
what is the outer body in this case?
The background.
Like the outside of the card.
Yes.
Okay, then make the inner body have a width of 500 pixels. Or maybe 510 pixels.
The width of the inner body. Or
Yeah. And why are you using absolute values as margin? You are not supposed to. That's criminal. What you did on line 16 is criminal. You're not supposed
Sir?
to do. I mean, what you did on line 16 is not supposed to. Never set margin like that, especially when you have just one element on the page. But no problem, just set the width first of all.
So how do I do it, sir?
You are supposed to use margin auto. since
Okay.
width 510
The
pixels,
width, I'm setting it to how many?
510 pixels or something, or you can do 512.
Okay. This is how it
Isn't
looks.
that too much? Then you need to maybe that's a lot.
And you said I should change the margin to auto.
Imagine auto. Yeah. So that way, even
Okay.
if you reduce the size of the screen, it's still going to stay in the middle. So what you're going to do is
With the
that
400 pixel, it was staying in the middle.
okay,
That's why I didn't think.
change the value to 400 pixels and reduce the width of the screen and see what will happen. Okay, reduce your screen size. I mean, reduce it.
I should reduce it.
Yeah, more.
This is the smallest.
You know why you are
Doesn't go.
escaping from this now? If you go to your outer body, if you go to your outer body and then comment out line 9 to line 11 and see what is going to happen.
I should comment out like
9 to 11. So what's saving is the flexbox property. Can you see now? Because you used
okay.
an absolute margin. So it's trying to find that margin by force, even if there's no space available to have the margin. So the flexbox just saves you from that. So you use auto so that it automatically calculates the margin from different, directions without you having to. So I think you need to remove that width of 500 pixels. But I think the card is too small. So there's probably somewhere you're setting maybe a padding or something that is making this thing look too big.
I should remove the width.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it looks better as it's small. Okay. But you can actually make it wider, but just leave it like that for now. I don't have any. So that's it. So I don't think we can continue today again, but at least you've been able to get the form. So you
Yes,
push it to Replit, then on Friday we'll continue with the other part of the project.
Okay, sir. Papa, please post